I'm going to tell you about learning trends. I think we live in the most trend-loaded world. My talk, I said 6. When I actually sat down and tried to work it out, I ended up with 20, over 20. It's amazing that people have to cope with all of these pressures to change, to modify what they do. Anyway, let's just pick a few out and then I'll give up after a few minutes. I won't go to 20, I promise. First one is increased accountability. And almost for the first time ever, if you're in learning, you are accountable. You're accountable for what you do, what you spend, how you do it, the business impact you make. People like me, I left being a full-time Chief Learning Officer in 2006. I got away with murder, absolutely got away with murder. All I had to do was prove that I did stuff. The impact of it, no one cared. All about numbers, all about volume, all about people liking it. No attempt to register the impact on the organisation. That is all changing. I think it's changing definitely for the better. The next one is partnership. That learning on its own is pretty thin. Learning, partnering with other parts of the business is really powerful. Learning, partnering with organisations outside the business, more powerful still. So don't do stuff on your own. Just think about the kind of quality, the depth and the breadth you can achieve simply by finding the right kind of partners. And in the organisation, it is not a solo effort. It is about the business. And you can do something much better with people who know quite a lot about what part of the business you're working in and how the business runs or how the organisation runs. So that's the second thing. The third is the whole social networking phenomenon. And we had a long debate about that. It's not, when you say social networking, you think, oh, let's everyone use Twitter. That's not what I mean. It's about short, sharp, focused sharing. And that can be face-to-face. It's about developing a more conversational culture. It's about networking. And I think learning should be right at the heart of that, and it often isn't. The next trend is hearts and minds. Winning people's beliefs and value systems over to yours, or trying to change their values, attitudes and belief systems. And learning has traditionally moved away from that and left it to OD or even worse, internal comms or something like that. I think it's right at the heart of what you should be doing. You've got to work with people and inspire them and make them feel happy about the kind of organisation they're working for. And if you do that, hey, guess what? They perform better. They perform better, you get brownie points. And the next thing related to that is that events aren't dead. We seem to live in a world where everything can go on WebEx. No, it can't. But I think that this is the time for great, spectacular events. Things that look good, feel good, really attempt to embrace and engage absolutely everybody. And it's not just everyone in a dull room, it's everyone in a place that is special, dressed in the room, not the people, dressed in a special way, with spectacular effects and surprises and something stunning and amazing. So, it's like if you've got to organise the Olympic opening ceremony, maybe not quite with the same £27 million budget, but nevertheless, in your terms, something as good as the opening ceremony, which could have been just a parade of athletes and 2 church choirs. That was how it used to be in the early years of the Olympic movement. That's not acceptable anymore. You've got to win people over, and therefore you've got to start looking at branding and colouring and all. That's a huge trend to win over people, not assume that just because you're doing it, it's absolutely fantastic and lovely. 2 more, I think, and then I'm going to give up. The next is to focus on the impact that you make simply by the drops that you put in the pool. So try to maximise the impact by the minimum of effort on your part. And that is quite complex, and you need to think about that quite deeply, and to have something that is more than just a learning product or even a learning process. It's about full engagement and about manifesting the outputs of what you do in different ways in different parts of the organisation. And the last one, what should we have as the last one? I think what we'll have as the last one is the role of learning in being big and standing up and being shouted and standing four square next to the CEO and embracing the objectives of the organisation in which it's based, not having learning, timid, in the corner, quietly getting on with it, but shouting, making itself bigger than it perhaps is in reality, leveraging, making an impact, understanding what it means to get the best out of people and what it means to create a great learning environment so people can do their best, be expert, competent, but also enthusiastic and engaged. So these are big things. This is tough, but these trends are extraordinarily important. And I think there's no option but to go for it in a very thought-through way, but you've got to go for it nevertheless.